You're listening to
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
the Sports Fellas Podcast.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Andres, and we are back with episode number 73 of the Sports Fellas Podcast. And today, along with my co-host, Mr. Eric. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. We're right in the heat of all things sports. So, I don't know. There's a lot going on where we're talking about, like,
Everything.
two big things today where, like, each one could be its own episode, to be honest. But we're both busy, so we both kind of are like, let's just throw it in one episode. I don't know. There's a lot going on, but it's exciting.
Oregon's the number one team in the nation.
Oh, God.
The NFL is 6 weeks in somehow. The World Series is about to start. The NBA season starts tomorrow. The World Series starts on Friday. There's so much going on, and it's so funny. So in December, we talked about, we're excited for the summer because of Copa, because of baseball, because of the Euros. And in the summer, we were like, we're excited for the fall because of the NBA, because of the football. And now that it's fall, we're like, you're moving a little bit too fast. But we talk about it, right? The end of the year just flies by. It's
already almost like Christmas time and everything. Like
it's
this whole
November
year
next
just
week.
went by fast. Yeah, it's too damn fast.
Yeah, but enough of us yapping. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're here to talk about a narrative called, we'll be back next year. We're obviously here to talk about the World Series, and we're here to talk about the 2024-2025 NBA season. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So Eric, throwing fastballs at you. When you think about a team that says, we'll be back next year, what team comes to mind? It could be any sport.
First rip, Dolphins back in the day with Dan Marino and all that.
Okay, so we're slandering me. Okay, cool.
Well, I mean that, but like everyone was like, they'll be back. They have him for a long time. They have this, and it's easier said than done, and that's why that mentality is kind of tough because like things change year to year, and just because we had a great team this year. And we're bringing them back, so we should be right back there. That's not how it works. That's never how it works.
Okay. I have a few candidates. I want to see if you agree or disagree. You probably agree. The Legion of Boom Seahawks, they won the Super Bowl, made it back the next year, lost on, obviously, an amazing play. And they were like, hey, we'll be back next year. Fun fact, they have not been back in the NFC Championship game since then. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two.
Legion of Boom was a fun time in the NFL, though.
Dude, like one of my friends, shout out to Corey, he told me, I asked him, when did Brady become the GOAT? Because the usual answer is Super Bowl 51. But he said, bro, they were down by 10 heading into the fourth quarter against the Legion of Boom, and he dissected that team. So, for him, it was the Seahawks game.
I don't blame him. I would probably agree. I think I had him as the GOAT before that Falcons comeback, but a lot of people point to the Falcons.
4-0, 4-2.
Yeah, I had him as before that.
Yeah, okay. So that's one team. Another team, the 2022 Cincinnati Bengals, they made the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes played the worst half of his life, and congrats to the Bengals, right? They made the Super Bowl, whatever. And Joe Burrow was injured last year, right? The year before that, they lost to the Chiefs, obviously, in the AFC Championship game, but they haven't been back in the Super Bowl. Another team that comes to mind, the 2021 Atlanta Hawks, right? They made the conference finals against the Bucks, and they were like, we can build on this. We're the AC the following year. Didn't make the playoffs in 23. Didn't make the playoffs last year. Like, it could change so quick.
So quick, yeah.
In the NFL, it changes even quicker, man. The NFL is crazy, bro.
That's why, and we'll get to, like, NBA and stuff, but it's cool seeing a team like the Thunder, who are young, had a year where they pretty much exceeded all expectations. And so a lot of people would be like, they're young, so they'll continue to build on it. But they didn't sit on that. They went and got better and better at different positions, and they kept improving the team. That's what you should do in a position like this. When you already have a young team who are already rolling, continue to build on it. Don't just sit back and expect them to continue to grow. No. Why would you wait? If you have the chance to continue to improve, do it. I feel like Thunder are the perfect thing that goes against that, and I love that.
Look at Isaiah Hartenstein, right? The Thunder signed him, and he's injured now. Like, they were probably banking on him to become the backup center or even the starting center for that team, and now he's hurt. So it's like, you can't have that mentality of, we'll be back next year. Who knows if the Mavericks peaked, right? So This is pretty much a general conversation. Look at the Mavericks, right? The Mavericks just made the finals, and no disrespect to Klay Thompson. I'm sorry, he's not 2017 Klay Thompson anymore. Anyways, they added Klay Thompson, and I don't think he's gonna solve their issues. But now we know how the NBA media is. We know the NBA media is garbage, so they're gonna be like, oh, they made it last year. What are they gonna do this year? You know what I mean? Like the expectations for Luka, obviously they go high. You've already been to the dance, and now you have to get back to the dance, right? The Timberwolves, they made the conference finals. They beat the NBA champions en route to making the finals. They swept the Phoenix Suns, and now they have that expectation of, hey, we need to get back to the conference finals. Because I don't know if you agree or disagree, but if I don't make it that far, it's pretty much a failure, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy to me when teams just sit back. Going back to your one about the Bengals, like they've had unfortunate scenarios where it's like getting injured, but I think that plays a big part in it. Like you can't sit there and just be like, yeah, it's okay because we'll be here again. Injuries happen, and like Burrow hasn't really looked the same as he did then. He's finally starting to look good now, but they started the season 0-3, so they're kind of digging themselves out of the hole right now. I think they're 3-4 right now. Like
yeah, and it could have been like 5-2. Yeah,
it's
the Ravens game. Yeah,
it's so much easier said than done. Of we'll be back there, but how often does that actually happen?
Look at the Broncos. The Broncos won the Super Bowl. They haven't made I don't think they've made the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl in 2015. The Falcons won. The Falcons made the Super Bowl. They lost in the wild card game against the Eagles the following year, and it's been hell bent for them since then, right? The Bucks made the divisional round last year. This year they're not as good. The Saints. You want to talk about teams? The Drew Brees Saints in the later years, right? You had the Minneapolis Miracle. You had the Vikings whooping their ass the following year, and then like they just haven't been back. There's no guarantees, and like we're not trying to sound like inspirational speakers, but it's just a terrible mentality to have. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is because the Mets had a phenomenal year, and I think they can get back here next year, but there's no guarantees, especially in baseball, bro. Like, I remember, I don't know if you saw the tweet that said, imagine LeBron popping champagne for beating the Pacers or whatever it was in the first round. Like, bro, it is so hard to win in baseball. And Dave Roberts had a fire-ass quote last night. He was like, listen, it's hard to get there. Once you're there, like, everyone's relaxed. The hard part is getting there. You got to play 162 games, then you got to play 3 more in the divisional round or even the wild card, and then 4 out of 7 in the championship series just to get to the World Series. Like, it's not like the NBA where, no disrespect to the NBA or the NFL, but like one player, it's very dependent, right? If you have an elite quarterback, you have a high ceiling. If you have an elite like top 5 player, you have a high ceiling, right? So a lot of Mets fans, they're not even saying, oh, we'll be back next year. They're just saying, hey, hopefully we can build from this. Hopefully we can continue from this.
Or like the Rangers, how they kept saying like, oh, it'll be a dynasty.
The dynasty.
Like the Astros. We'll do what the Astros did. We could do this. And
they missed
1
the
year
playoffs.
After winning, they missed the playoffs entirely. And sure, they had injuries. All teams had injuries.
It's a part of the game.
It's a part of the game. And also, that plays a part. That right there alone should say what the Astros did wasn't easy, because despite injuries, for 7 straight years, the Astros rattled off the AL.
And their best players departing.
Like, I don't know. I think that mindset is just so funny. And it's people who don't respect how hard what great teams did was. Like, they don't respect how good that was.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, the Astros cheated, blah, blah, blah. But, like, bro, 7 straight years of the ALCS, 7 straight in the hardest sport to do it, too. Like, Brady made it look easy because it's not Brady. Patrick Mahomes, obviously, he's making it look easy. It's Patrick Mahomes. But look at the last World Series winners, right? Look at the Giants in 2010. They won. 2011, they did jack shit. 2012, they won. 2013, they did jack shit. In 2012, the Giants won, and they did jack shit. 2011, the Cardinals won the World Series. They were up 3-1 on the Giants in the NLCS, and they blew it. The Red Sox went from winning the World Series to being last in 2014. In 2014, the Giants won, then they did nothing in 2015. The Royals won. The Royals made the World Series Game 7, 2014. 2015, they won it all. In 2016, the Royals didn't do anything. The Cubs won the World Series. Then the following year, they made it to the NLCS. They lost to the Dodgers in 5 games. In 17, the Astros won. Well, they lost to probably the best team of this century. No bias. The Red Sox won. Then they missed the playoffs. The Nationals won. Now they're in the gutter. The Dodgers won, and, well, they made the NLCS the following year, but that's a rare occasion. The Braves won. Then they lost in the first round against the Phillies, that was in 2022. The Astros won in 2022, and then the following year, they were one game away from making it back to the World Series. But the Astros is an anomaly. Like, let's just call it what it is, right? The Yankees, bro. The Yankees won the World Series. This is their first time back in 15 years. Like, it is so hard. I'm not trying to be biased for baseball because obviously you guys know how much I love baseball, but it is so hard to win a championship in baseball, bro.
I feel like baseball and hockey, I would say, are two of the hardest ones. Because, like, hockey is so, like, up and down each year. Like, good teams turn to bad teams out of nowhere. Bad teams turn to good teams out of nowhere. And baseball, I mean, if you asked anyone, despite the Astros being vastly, like, underperformed, or they underperformed a lot compared to how they have been, and they've been injured, older. If you asked anyone who has more talent, people would say the Astros over the Tigers 9 times out of 10. But it didn't matter because Tigers were better on the day. It's kind of like whichever team gets hotter at the right moment and performs.
Which is a cliche, but
it's true.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
It's true, and that's what makes it great, honestly, because you never know what's gonna happen. I mean, I don't know. Like, I thought Mets had a really solid chance against the Dodgers. I'm sad neither of those series like turned into anything really. Like, the Mets did for a little bit against the Dodgers, but Guardians never stood a chance.
No, they did not.
It was just
I agree. Yeah, I just feel bad for the Mets because, like, they didn't deserve to lose, but, like, the Dodgers didn't deserve to lose either. You know what I mean? Like, the Mets just ran out of gas. You know, obviously they couldn't hit with wrist, but they lost to a better team. And I will say this. The people that are crying about the Dodgers right now, not saying you, Eric, the people that are crying about the Dodgers right now, next year it's going to be even scarier because they're getting Ohtani back. They're getting Glasnow back. They have Yamamoto with a year under his belt. They could sign Jack Flaherty. They could sign Walker Buehler. They have Gavin Stone. They have Dustin May. They can bring back 69-year-old Kershaw. Like, this is the most exploitable the Dodgers will probably be. And that's why Mets fans are like, dude, like, they were right there. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I don't think there's we'll be back next year mentality. Look at the Bills, bro. The Bills have been fighting Patrick Mahomes demon every single year. They made it to the conference championship game in 2020, and they haven't been back. They legit haven't been back. They lost to Mahomes twice, I think, and they lost to Joe Burrow they lost to Joe Burrow. Was that game at home? I think the Bills were at home for that game because it was snowing.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, Cincinnati can get a lot of snow too, but
yeah, but it was packed.
Yeah.
All of this is to say, like, there's no guarantee. Look at the Panthers, right? They lost to the Vegas last year in 5, and this year they were up 3-0 on the Oilers, almost blew it, and they won. Like, it's so hard to win in these sports, man. Like, that's why you gotta appreciate, like, dynasties, man. Like, individually, however you feel about the Astros, and this is so funny because every single conversation leads back to the Astros. Individually, how much you feel about the Astros, you need to respect greatness. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Should they have won in 2019? Absolutely. 2021, they didn't really have starting pitching, so that I'll give a pass. But 2019 should have been Gary Cole out of the bullpen, but whatever, AJ Hinch. Whatever.
Oh, AJ. Gotta love him.
Gotta love him.
He gives and he takes.
Yeah. The Eagles won, made it back the next year, and they made it back to the Super Bowl, but they lost. And we had this conversation about Andy Reid like 3 or 4 episodes ago. It doesn't matter what Andy Reid did in the early 2000s, like how he made the Super Bowl. What matters is winning. And the truth is, Andy Reid did not have a Super Bowl until Patrick Mahomes. Simple. People want to say, oh, what does Patrick Mahomes look like without Andy Reid? Andy Reid might not have a championship ring right now if he didn't have Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's my rant.
No, you're right. It's, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, who is going to be the teams, like, for NBA, who would it be last year? Like, Mavericks, you think?
The Mavericks are on their list. OKC is on that list. The Wolves
we'll get to my opinion on the OKC. I don't want to say it yet. We'll get to when we talk about them. But
we can talk about NBA. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
I got some opinions about them.
Ooh. Okay, but ladies and gentlemen, this has been our rant of the day. We have like a rant like every single episode, but without further ado, moving on to our second topic. Eric, I usually let you start, but I'm going to start. These MLB playoffs to me have been a solid B+. I think with the World Series we get, if it lives up to the hype, it'll transform into an A. But the playoffs have been phenomenal. You had a miracle run by the Mets, and then you had 3 teams who had a bye, and there was this narrative that, oh, teams that get the bye, it hurts them. Meanwhile, it's just the Phillies and the Braves. The Yankees are back in the World Series. Listen, I hate to be unbiased about the Yankees, but they were the best team in the AL all year. If they would have faced you guys, I really don't think you guys would have won as much as I don't like the Yankees.
They've looked dominant all year. It's hard to really deny it at this point.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the final four in the AL was Royals, Guardians, Tigers, and them, and they clear all of those teams pretty easily, I think.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying, well, they had an easy path. Well, they got the 1 seed, and it's not their fault that the Astros lost. So
And the Orioles lost. Like, both of those teams lost.
the
It's
Orioles,
not
dude.
their
The
fault.
Orioles had
Yeah.
what, 1 run in both games combined?
Yeah.
Where
Terrible.
was Gunnar Henderson? Where was
Dude, and what happened to Adley? Adley had a
Bro.
pretty disappointing year.
He fell off badly.
Like, it was a pretty rough year. I
yeah.
don't know what I was expecting, like a huge jump from him. I took him in fantasy league. He just did not perform like that.
Gunnar took the jump for him.
Yeah, he big time. He was phenomenal, but not in the playoffs. And that's what's like. Even I
It's
mean,
a
we can talk
cruel
about it,
game, bro.
but like we can talk about that's the thing why the Yankees are really good is Aaron Judge has been pretty bad this playoffs, but they're so deep and have good pitching that they don't need him to be great to still win. He's been bad and they've still been doing this. So
one thing I will say about Aaron Judge, the narrative on him is very pathetic, bro. Like, he's carried that team for like what,
yeah, we know how good
4
he
or
is.
5 years now,
Yeah.
and everyone is like, oh, everyone's picking up Aaron Judge. Oh, Juan Soto's good. No one has picked him up in the last, except for Stanton. No one has picked him up in the last X amount of years, man. So I don't know, man. I'm not a kid anymore, so I can't hate on like rival players. Like Aaron Judge, he is phenomenal. Like Josh Allen, he's obviously phenomenal. Like I grew up, I guess. I'm getting old, maybe. Could be that.
Maturing.
Yeah. Mets Brewers was a banger of a series. Obviously, you had Pete Alonso, who didn't have a clutch hit all year, delivered in the most clutch moment.
Oh my god, I was at the gym watching that, and me and like 3 other dudes I was with all started going nuts when that happened.
It was so fire, bro. It was literally a textbook thing. Padres, Braves, not really much to say there. The Braves literally dragged themselves to the playoffs, and
Yeah.
they kept that playoff streak alive. Orioles versus the Royals, we just talked about it. The Orioles were disappointing again. They've lost 10 playoff games in a row. For those of you that are keeping count. Tigers, Astros, we talked about it, right? The Astros on paper, they really should have won, but
It wasn't their year. They just didn't have it this year.
They were just exhausted.
Shout out to the Tigers. I mean, they were pretty phenomenal the second half of the season.
Yeah, they went on a run in like mid-August.
Yeah.
Tigers, Guardians did not disappoint. I know a lot of people didn't want to watch that series, but
That was a good series.
it really did not disappoint.
Yeah.
Royals, Yankees, not really much to say there. I mean, really, if at all. Mets, Phillies, I told a lot of people the Mets were going to win that series, like, give or take. Like, the same way the Phillies whooped the Braves the last 2 years, it was going to be the Mets this year with the Phillies. Dodgers, Padres, we could talk about it. The Padres were up 2-1 in this series, and
They should have had
folded.
it.
They folded.
They should have had it. And that's I don't want the Padres to win either, but I would have rather that. But man, Dodgers a lot of times I feel like when it comes to the playoffs, they've kind of just like not been there for the big moments. I feel like this is a resilient team for them. They kind of have it this year. Now granted, they have a superstar lineup, so they should be doing this. But you still got to give them credit. Like we've been talking about how baseball is so hard to predict, how it's so hard to do this. So no matter who their team is, you got to give them credit for actually doing it.
I mean, it's the first time since 2013 that both 1 seeds are in the World Series. Oh, well, 2020, obviously, but 2020. But with fans.
COVID.
Yeah, no. We're not disrespecting the Dodgers. They won their chip. They won their chip. Everyone, did they? I'm totally kidding. It's a joke.
Here's their chance to win it.
Yankees, Guardians. Did it disappoint this series? What disappointed me was
that one
Stephen
game the
Vogt.
Guardians won was crazy, but
Bro, Brian Anderson, top 2, bro.
that series just never felt close. Like even in moments when Guardians would be winning, which was pretty rare, it was kind of like, when are Yankees gonna do something? Like it just, I don't know.
For me, it was like, are they gonna walk Stanton or are they gonna pitch to him? Every single time, bro. I was like, dude, are they gonna pitch to him? Or are they gonna walk him? Are they gonna pitch to him? Or are they gonna walk him? And they were so obsessed with that righty-lefty matchup that they didn't want to face Jazz. I'm like, dude, you live with no disrespect to Jazz. You live with Jazz beating you, not Giancarlo fucking Stanton.
Yeah,
What a guy.
that it was. What was the dude's name who
A
hit
big
the home
Christmas.
run? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to mispronounce.
I don't either. That's why I was hoping you say it.
Yeah.
But he crushed the ball. Like that shit wasn't close. It felt like I don't know. That was a
Joensky
huge
Noel.
Jelinski.
Joensky. Joanski.
Okay.
There you go.
I was gonna
Joanski on
That
Christmas.
that game was really good, but then I don't know, the rest of the series just was kind of eh. I mean, I think the Mets Dodgers was a better series.
Dude, it was fire. I don't care about, like, people are gonna say like the blowouts and stuff. It was a better series.
It was still like that series. I felt like I was on the edge of my seat more than I was in the Guardians. When the Guardians one, it was kind of like, okay, when are Yankees gonna do it? And the Mets one, it was kind of like, well, Mets could do. Like Mets felt like they should had a better chance of the whole series.
Bro, they were down 6-3, and I was like, holy shit, they have a chance. Holy shit, they have a chance.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
bro,
unfortunately,
Tommy
I wish that
Edman,
one went to 7.
man. Yeah, bro, it should be Game 7
Tommy
tonight.
Edman, he's stepping up.
Bro, if you would have told me before the series that he would have transformed into Ted Williams, I would have been like, oh, you're crazy. And that only happened because Miggy Rowe got hurt. Like, bro.
Yeah.
I don't understand how... Dude, no disrespect, right? Mookie, phenomenal. Shohei, phenomenal. Freddie Freeman was injured. Tommy Edman beat you? Teoscar Hernandez went like 2 of 20. Tommy Edman, bro? Like, life as a... But every single baseball series has the one player that you're like, how is this guy beating me? I don't mean to be an asshole to you, but Howie fucking Kendrick, dog, really? Jorge Soler, even though he went ballistic that year. And then 2022 was normal because it was fucking Jordan Alvarez. Last year was Corey Seager. Like, those are normal players.
Yeah.
But Tommy Edman, really?
That's the thing. It's so weird because Dodgers
It's a crapshoot.
They have star after star after star, and it's Tommy Edman who steps up. Like, if you're the Mets, you just gotta be annoyed as hell with that.
You know how they say, oh, you live with X player beating you? You're not living with Tommy Edman beating you. I'm sorry. You're just not. But
That's so annoying.
enough of us yapping. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. Eric, before we start talking about the nitty-gritty, I do want to ask you, who are you rooting for as an Astros fan and as a baseball fan? Who do you want to see win? I have to ask you. I'm sorry. You know where my loyalty lies. My loyalty lies with Mookie Betts, so it's pretty easy for me.
Dude, literally, neither, bro. This sucks. This is the worst case scenario. If I had to, and this might be surprising, I'll roll with the Yankees, I guess.
Wow. Okay.
Dude, I can't stand that. Like, the Dodgers just bought everyone, and it's got annoying. I mean, both teams did. I can't really say that, but like, I don't know. I'm not gonna cheer for either team. If there's a way for both of them to lose this series, I would root for that. But
okay,
I don't know. We need another COVID to start so that neither one wins. That's the only way. I don't know. If I'm talking about who I think will win, I'll go with the Dodgers because I feel like Yankees have more holes than the Dodgers do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I don't like even simple stuff. Like, I watch the Dodgers and I feel like I don't see them make as many like fielding mistakes as the Yankees do or something. I feel like there's just little things that the Yankees do where I'm kind of like, what are you doing? And I feel like Yankees pitchers throughout the whole season, despite how good everyone's been there, I feel like they have a tendency to leave balls hanging a little bit over the middle of the zone too much. And they did that a good bit against the Guardians. Guardians just weren't good enough to make them pay. I was even watching John Boy, his stream and stuff, just listening to their reaction stuff, and it felt like every other pitch they were like, well, that one was hung right over the zone. The Dodgers will make you pay for that. Shohei and Mookie Betts are going to make you pay for that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Mookie Betts in another World Series, but
Yeah,
all right. Well, enough of us yapping. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. All right, Eric, pitching. Who, before I read the names, who do you think has the advantage, like off the top of your head? Because for me,
based on what I just said, I think personnel-wise, probably the Yankees. But I feel like just in this moment, I'll trust the Dodgers more.
Okay, bullpen.
Ooh, I don't know.
It's close, man. Both bullpens are very elite.
Yeah,
I'll go on a limb. I'll say tie. I agree with
that's
you.
Fair. Yeah, I don't know. That's hard. Wait, who would you go with starting? Yankees?
It's hard for me to say just because I don't know what version of Carlos Rodon we're gonna get. If he's a number 2, then I think the Yankees.
That's why my thing is like I feel like the Dodgers pitchers I know more so what I'll expect. I don't know what to expect with a lot of the Yankees guys.
Right, but look at Jack Flaherty, right? Game 1, he looked like
God.
Sandy Koufax, and then Game 5, he looked exploitable.
Yeah.
Walker Buehler looked good, but is he gonna look good again? Like he's he's
That, I
been
mean,
here
it's fair.
before.
It's hard to pick. They're both good, obviously, but
Right, so
yeah.
both. Let's say tie for starting pitching and for bullpen because it really it's okay. Closer, it's still close. Blake Trinan and Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver was phenomenal, bro. Like this is like the Guardians. Okay,
I'll go with the Yankees on that one.
You go with Luke Weaver. Okay,
Yeah, I think so. He's been kind of going crazy.
you need an elite bullpen to win a World Series. Your bullpen can't be the only elite thing you have. Like Emmanuel Clase, exploitable this year. Like it was bad. Like the Yankees and Dodgers, they both have elite bullpens, but they also have superstar players. They have lineups. Dave Roberts has managed well this postseason. So has Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone maybe had a blunder like Game 3, Game 4, but no, I think it's a tie for pitching. Okay, now next up we have superstar players, right? So you got Glaber, who has an 832 OPS. He's been a phenomenal as a leadoff hitter. You got Soto, who has a 1.106 OPS with 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, 8 walks. Stanton has 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, and a 1.179 OPS. Judge, he's Aaron Judge. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. He had the game-tying home run in Game 4. Volpe is actually batting .310 with an 804 OPS, and he has hits in 7 of the 9 games. On the other side, you got Ted Williams, who went 11 for 27 with a home run and 11 RBIs. Otani, who's slashing 934 OPS with 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. My guy Mookie Betts, who is slashing 342, 419, a 763 slugging with a 1.182 OPS with 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, and 5 walks. Mookie really should have 5 home runs, but Jurickson Profar just had to have his moment.
That was crazy.
Scrub.
Yeah, that was insane.
And then Freddie Freeman, who's obviously not 100%. So, Eric, based on superstar power, for me personally, it has to be the Dodgers.
Yeah, I think it has to be. I mean,
don't get me wrong,
just
Judge
feel
and
more
Soto or
deep.
Judge and Soto,
But then you get after that. I feel like once you get past the top 2, the Dodgers start winning every single time almost.
yeah. So you got Otani, Mookie, Freddie, Teoscar,
Yeah,
Tommy.
crazy.
Yeah, but he was garbage against the Mets.
He was garbage.
Which leads me to think that he's gonna have a big series now.
I know.
Yeah, Tommy Edman. There's Max Muncy. I did put Max Muncy on the list. Will Smith has struggled all postseason long. Kike Hernandez, playoff Kike. Like,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, we'll see about him.
Okay, so superstar
Okay,
players.
let me ask you this though: when we get down to it, World Series, who do you trust to have a better series, Shohei or Judge?
I mean, a lot of it depends on pitching.
Sure.
That's the thing. And a lot of it depends on what version of Kerry Cole are we going to get? What version of Jack Flaherty? Damn, you cornered me.
This is a 2-part, because I was going to ask this, and then
Okay.
also Mookie Betts versus Juan Soto.
Okay, I'm not that biased. Juan Soto.
Okay, there you go. I just wanted to see.
I'll go Otani and Soto.
That's what I would probably go with.
But I will say Judge has been better offensively this season. Don't let, like,
I agree.
Otani
The whole 50-50 thing, phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but Judge has been better.
offensively. Like,
Yeah.
it does not matter. Like,
No, he's
Otani's
been better.
the greatest player of all time. He is one of one. He's obviously first ballot. He could retire tomorrow. Technically
But
not.
Judge is literally putting up the
But
best
Judge
batting
this
stats
year-
since like Barry Bonds almost.
And if you want to go back to Barry Bonds, you got to go back to Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
So he had a weighted runs created of like 212. He was better this year than in 2022, which is crazy to say out loud because 2022 he obviously had the 60 home runs. He hit like 55 this year, but yeah, I'm gonna go Otani and Soto. Final answer. Obviously, I love Mookie. He's obviously a better defender, but Soto, like, dude,
I'm good with that. Yeah, okay, fair. Anyway, are we doing final predictions? What we think the series goes?
not yet. No. What lineup do you trust more?
Oh, Dodgers.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I think it has to be.
it has to be them, man. Like,
It has to be.
they're disgusting top to bottom, and it's weird because Dave Roberts, he's like, oh, you're getting hits? Okay, I'm gonna move you up. Like with Tommy Edman, bro. Tommy Edman was batting cleanup, bro.
That, yeah, I
don't think I'll
respect
ever
it
go-
though. I mean, play who's hot.
Yeah,
Play him up top. Yeah, I respect it.
yeah,
More teams need to
and,
do that, maybe.
And Mookie was finding it disrespectful that they were walking Ohtani to face him, which, bro, it's Shohei Ohtani, man. Like, come the fuck on. Yeah. Okay. Now we could talk about predictions. I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna be biased. I don't care. Dodgers in 6. Mookie Betts World Series MVP.
I'll go Dodgers in 7, just because I really want this to be a good series. If I don't want either team to win, I at least want good baseball out of it. And I'll go Teoscar. I think he has a big series, like you said.
Yeah.
I feel like it's never the guy you think it's gonna be. Like
That's the bro. Okay,
Yeah.
let's think without googling. Okay, last year Corey Seager. The year before that, Jordan.
That one was fair.
21 Jorge Soler, right?
Yeah.
Was
yeah,
it Soler?
sounds right.
Yeah. 20 was Corey Seager. 19 was Strasburg.
Shit.
19 was Strasburg. 18 was Steve Pierce. 17 was Springer.
Yeah, it was
Springer.
Because he had like 5 home runs in the World Series.
Yeah. 16 was Ben Zobrist. 15
Ben
was
Zobrist, like that's crazy, dude. Come on.
He's the GOAT, man. The
And that
GOAT utility player.
series was insane.
Yeah, that's probably the best series of our lifetime.
Yeah.
Of our lifetime, easily number 1, obviously.
I think that and the Astros Dodgers.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then
Yeah.
we haven't had a game 7 since then. We need a game 7,
which
bro. We need a game 7. You're right.
I
You're
know.
right.
That's why
We need a
looking
game
at
7.
I want good baseball, man.
Okay. 15.
Yeah.
Who was 15? Was this Salvi?
Royals
Alcides
won that,
Escobar? Yeah. Alcides Escobar, maybe? Maybe it was Salvi? I don't think it was Salvi. 14 was Bumgarner. 13 was obviously Poppy. 12 was...
Do you know how good you got to be as a pitcher to win? Because you got maybe 2
Bro,
starts. and you pop off
Bumgarner
like
was...
that, yeah.
Bro, Bumgarner was so... I know people hate
He
Bumgarner.
took over everything whenever he around that time. Like he was everywhere.
Bro, he pitched in Game 5 and then came from the bullpen in Game 7. 2011, David Freese, obviously. 2010 was Edgar Renteria at like 35 years old. 09 was Hideki Matsui. 08 was Jimmy Rollins, maybe?
Jesus, this is crazy. You remember all this?
07 was Pedroia.
Jimmy Rollins. Wow, what a throwback.
You know who was 06? The Cardinals won.
Was it Pujols? No.
No.
Huh? I was going to say who?
David Eckstein. Do you remember David Eckstein?
Yeah. Dude, yeah, we're getting too far. We're getting too far back now. I can't even. This is
David Eckstein, man. Nah, man. I
do remember David Freese very well. I feel like everyone remembers that one.
Everyone remembers
That
how they
one.
were, dude.
That one was fucking nuts.
Yeah. All of this yapping to say, give us a game 7, please, bro. And you know, I'm not a parent, but like I think like a parent, right? So they're gonna finish their game at like, let's say 8 p.m. Clean up, shower, go to the airport by 9. They're gonna travel 5 hours across the United States. So I don't know what time they're gonna get to New York at like 5 in the morning, maybe. Because if it's a 5-hour flight,
Yeah, it's gonna be brutal.
Excuse me. Excuse me. On the way back, obviously it's different because like you're going back in time, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But nah, man, I'm excited. All right, so 7 games, Teoscar Hernandez. All right,
That's what I got. We'll see, man. We'll see.
we'll see. Moving on to our last topic of the afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the NBA is back, and honestly, I don't know how to feel about it. I really don't. Yeah, no, I don't know how. I'm not trying to sip the haterade. I don't know how to feel about it. Anyways,
I'm excited.
let's talk
I'm
about
excited.
it.
Yeah, I think once the season gets going, we'll both be like way more into it and start getting excited again.
You know, I have a curveball. What sport is better when your team is ass? Is it football or is it football?
Yeah, dude, it's not close. Like basketball is so demoralizing when your team is bad. Though it's just like I don't want to watch anything. When Texans are bad, I still love watching it.
Like red zone or hoping you lose for a pick,
Yeah.
or like those close games.
In the NBA, even losing feels demoralizing because like the lottery, you're gonna get screwed in.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
Let's talk about it. Okay, so we got Klay Thompson to Dallas, Russ to Denver, Randall to Minnie, Cat to New York, Michael Bridges to New York, DeJounte to New Orleans, Caruso and Hartenstein to OKC, robbery, KCP to Orlando, Paul George to Philly, DeMar to Sacramento, and Chris Paul to the Spurs. the biggest influence of that free agency signing is. What do you think, Eric?
Like the biggest move?
Yeah.
I feel like the one that just like popped off to me the most was Cat.
It has to be, right?
It has to be, yeah. It's got,
Okay.
like, I mean, it's been a long time since I've been excited to watch the Knicks, even last year when they were playing really well. But I'm excited to watch them this year. I feel like Jalen Brunson and Cat's gonna be a lot of fun to watch together.
Okay, so now that you're talking about the Knicks, we can talk about the Knicks first, Eric. Expectations for the New York Knicks this season based on what happened last year. Last year, all of their players died. I know people are going to say, well, you play who's on the court. They all died. I'm sorry. They were playing out there with like 5 carbon copies of me. Expectations for the Knicks this year. What is their floor? What is their ceiling? Do they have to crack 50 wins for you? Where do you see the New York Knicks finishing this year?
They do 100% have to crack 50 wins. If you don't, that's disappointing.
It's a failure. Okay. Number 1, 50 wins. Number 2?
Where they can go, I mean, I think they could make the Eastern Conference Finals. I think making the finals, I'm still hard pressed to put anyone over the Celtics. I feel like Celtics are the overwhelming favorite to repeat. But I think if there is one team that can challenge them at this moment, it is the Knicks. I just don't like, if we're talking about what the Cavs, like, I don't know. I don't really see it with them. Milwaukee, if Giannis comes back dominant again, maybe, but the rest of that team feels like it's not as good.
Chris Middleton is already hurt, bro. He's not playing.
Yeah,
now.
so I'm lower on the Magic than most other people.
Yeah, they did have a top 5 defense last year.
They did. They were good.
They
but
added
I just
KCP. But bro, the lights were way too bright.
Like Paolo Banchero, I think he's good, but I feel like some people are kind of overdoing it with him.
Okay.
Like I want to wait and see how he does this year. Some people are already kind of crowning him and giving him all of the flowers and stuff. I want to wait and see on him. Philadelphia, could they challenge the Celtics maybe?
Okay.
I'm nervous. I always get hesitant with Embiid. Like whether he's going to stay healthy or whether he's just not going to show up in the playoffs. I'm always it's kind of the Harden feeling of I just don't know how much I can put into you when I don't know what I'm gonna get.
Disclaimer: Harden is obviously a better playoff performer.
100%. I agree.
Sorry,
but
continue.
And more than anything, it's just the injuries. Like, dude can't stay healthy, and I think a lot of it's his own fault. I'm gonna be honest. I think the whole falling, everything. Everyone's like, well, the falling actually helps him stay healthy. Does it? Because it's not. It's not helping. Well, I don't see it helping at all. If anything, it just hurts other players more. He's always ramming into everyone. Like, I don't see anyone really being able to compete with the Celtics. Compete, sure. Beat, no. I do think Knicks are the closest.
Okay.
Knicks, I would have around like
55?
55 wins is about what I would say. Like, I think they are a really good team. Celtics could. I don't think they'll win 60. I don't think there's a team.
I don't think that's their priority. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any team in the NBA that'll win 60 this year, which is fine.
Because yeah.
But no, I think Celtics are like 57, 58. They'll do just enough to get the 1 seed. And they're that good where they can play easy while knowing this is what we got to do. Let's do it to get the 1 seed. Knicks would probably be my pick for the 2 seed. And then I feel like in the 3 seed, it's kind of a log jam. There's a few teams that have Bucks, Sixers, Cavs,
Orlando.
See, Orlando, I'm hesitant to put them in that tier.
Okay, so we talked about teams that peaked at the beginning of this episode. And I gotta ask you, did the Indiana Pacers peak?
I don't know if they peaked, but I think they're more of like, dude, maybe actually, I don't know. Like, I think they'll make the second. They could. I'm not saying they will. I think they could make the second round. Could give a team a hard run, but I just don't see any scenario where they could make it to like the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, I feel like they had a low playoff team ceiling. Yeah, they had a lot of things go the right way.
Yeah, no disrespect to them, right? You last team standing is the healthiest team standing. Yep. They were healthy. They got to the conference finals. No disrespect to them.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just hesitant to really go with the Pacers on that. Pacers and Magic are 2 teams I'm not all that high on. I do think Bucks ceiling is still
Eastern
probably
Conference
second behind the Celtics, but overall,
it's hard to get an argument out of me with those 4 teams. I think those are the 4 best teams. Boston, New York, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia. And then
what about Cleveland?
No.
No,
I don't see it with them. Like
That's right.
if God willing, Giannis is healthy, God willing, Embiid is healthy, God willing, the Knicks are healthy, then I see those 4 teams being the 4 seeds.
I agree.
We could be, I don't know, we could be 6, we could be 5. Obviously, we still have the best coach in the NBA, but I don't know what version of Jimmy we're gonna get. I will say, Bam, he's gonna have a big year because you and I, we talk about it, right? The Redeem team and how every player was berserk in the 2009 season, like Chris Paul, Kobe, LeBron, Wade, Deron Williams, Dwight Howard, like all of them went berserk. So maybe this is the spark that Bam needed. I know he's gonna be taking more threes, but like I said, I'm not saying that we have a high ceiling because we don't, but like, just get in the dance, man. But it's just, bro. I'm not trying to sound like a hater, but like I feel like they're gonna give Defensive Player of the Year to Wemby, and like the games haven't even started. No disrespect.
I mean, I wouldn't argue against it probably once we get there because I mean he is insane, and that's what like. Not telling you to pick a specific spot, like, oh, well, these guys are ahead of him, so he's 13th. But what range would you say he is in the NBA right now? Like, top players? If you're naming your top 15, is Wemby in it?
Yes and
Right
no.
outside, right at the end?
It could be like 17, 18-ish.
Okay.
Because, like, bro, the NBA is, like, not trying to sound disrespectful, I promise you. The NBA is, like, washed, right? Like, a lot of the players, we just don't know how to rank them. The top 5...
Isn't it weird? Because, like, I feel like 6 years ago, roughly, we were talking about how the NBA felt so insanely stacked with talent. And this year, it kind of is like, I don't know. Like, I mean, there's good talent. Don't get us wrong. Jokic, Giannis is still great. Embiid's still great. Shea's still great. Luka's still great. But
Tatum, that's 6.
that
right.
top 5 alone feels worse than a top 5 years ago. And then when you get to 6 through 10, it feels worse than it did. Like, I don't know.
Exactly. Like, so 5 years ago was 2020. Who was the top 5 players in 2020? It was
like
Giannis,
2019-ish. Giannis, Harden,
LeBron, Kevin Durant,
Curry still,
Kawhi still,
Curry.
Steph. Yeah,
like
Dame.
that's better. That's better than this.
Yeah, bro. Like,
and then once you got to like 7, 8, 9, 10, like AD was still going crazy and stuff.
B
like,
was top 10.
Yeah, there were still really good players rounding out that top 10. I feel like once we even get to 10 here, we're kind of like,
bro, no, but think about it. So let's think about it, right? That was the 6, right? It was the 4 foreigners, Tatum and Shea, right? It was Jokic, Giannis, Embiid, Luka, Tatum, Shea. That's 6. And then Kevin Durant, 40 years old. LeBron James, 40 years old. Anthony Edwards, 40 years old. And who? Devin Booker, maybe? Like, you guys know I don't like Devin Booker, but I'm trying to be objective about him. Devin Booker, like, is that the top 10? The old heads, the Europeans, Steph, maybe?
See, okay, let's say this. At the end of the year, do you think Wemby's top 10?
He has to be, bro. I think so.
There's no way he's not.
There's no way he's not. And, like, I'm not saying the Spurs are going to make noise because obviously that team still has a lot of faults.
So, yeah.
But Chris Paul
I do think Chris Paul's going to help him a lot.
A lot, yeah. For player development.
Lot. Yeah,
like next year, Wemby, like year 3, he's going to be even scarier, I think.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. The clock has to be ticking on Pop, right? Like, not like he has to have like 1 or 2 years left. There's no way it keeps going.
Well, they gave him Wemby, so then he extended, but I don't know.
But there's just no way he survives another 5 years.
Let's find out.
How old is he? Yeah.
Greg Popovich contract. Oh wow. Okay.
I mean,
he
75.
has a 5-year, $80 million contract. Oh,
there's no way he makes it through all 5 years and coaches till he's 80. There's just no way.
Bro, 2028? Are you shitting me?
No, come on. I don't think so.
I knew he renewed, but I didn't know he renewed last
year.
Bro,
Phil Jackson is 79.
Oh my god.
Like, that's
crazy. What is Pop trying to do? Like, he's not gonna win another championship.
No, go retire. Chill out, bro.
Let Becky take over, man.
Start doing some. He don't want to be in a commentator or anything. I bet.
Bro, just go home. Like,
go home. Do what Tim Duncan did and just fade away.
Like, literally, like, disappear.
Like love Popovich. All due respect to him, but come on, dude.
Right. He's Mount Rushmore. He's everything. But like, the last playoff appearance they had was 5 years ago. They lost to the Warriors in 5 games, or they got swept. Like, I get it. You have Wemby, but dude, enough. Anyways, as we were saying, Let's keep it going. Okay, so the biggest storylines this season, the Celtics' quest for a back-to-back. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Expectations for one of, not the one of. Excuse me.
Okay, yeah, I'd say in the East they're the favorite right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Actually, probably overall they are.
I think they're going back-to-back. Can they become the first team to go back-to-back since the Warriors? What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I think they can. I'll say this: if I was betting, they would be who I'd put my money on. They're the team I feel the most confidence in.
Okay. Expectations for Philly, we already talked about it. We don't know what to expect because it all depends on Joel Embiid's health. Tyrese Maxey, maybe. Milwaukee year 2 with Dame and Giannis. The Knicks, right? I didn't give my opinion on the Knicks, but I do concur with you. I think their floor has to be round 2, and their ceiling has to be the NBA Finals. They're very well built. They're not well coached because obviously we don't know what version of Tibbs we're gonna get. But if I'm the New York Knicks, if I'm a New York Knicks fan, I know they like to talk a lot of shit. If there's a year to talk a lot of shit, it's this year. They have to make the conference finals. If not, it's a failure. I don't care.
And I will say, based on right now, a Knicks Celtics Eastern Conference Finals would be fire.
It's fire because of the location. Like they're so close. Boston, New York.
It's New York, Boston. You already know there's stuff there, so
yeah. Another thing that I wrote down, Eric, expectations for OKC and what do we expect out of Denver. So what do you think about those two things? Because the Nuggets just won the ring. It got embarrassed. Let's just call it what it is. They got embarrassed last year, and now they lost KCP, lost Bruce Brown.
Yeah, Nuggets feel like one of those teams that we talked about at the beginning of the episode. They're kind of just resting on their laurels, and it's not working. Like I feel like there hasn't been enough to actively improve the team around Jokic.
No, bro. They won the ring, and they're like, all right, we're done. And
that's what's frustrating because Jokic, I think you would agree with me, is the best player in the world.
It's still him and Giannis.
Yeah.
It's still him and Giannis.
They should be in that, Celtics. It should be Celtics and Nuggets. But if anything, people aren't, like, I don't think anyone expects them to get, like, the 1 seed.
Anymore.
Which in itself is a problem, I think. I think teams that are comfortable getting like, we're comfortable with the 3rd or 4th seed and then we'll run the table in the playoffs. I think that's a bad mentality. I've always hated that mentality.
It's now
the regular season matters, and the regular season does show how good a team is. And whenever a team is comfortable just relaxing, sitting out, Clippers, they did that a lot. Never worked. Lakers have done that since their championship. It doesn't work. Like I feel like those teams, it doesn't work out for them, and I have a feeling Nuggets are doing that, and I don't like it. I think with how talented Jokic is, their ceiling is still making the finals.
It has to be, bro. It's Nikola Jokic.
But I would argue that they're more likely to be a second-round exit than make the finals.
So I agree. I think they're more exploitable than not exploitable. Yeah. Okay,
because right now, just off the top of my head, I don't know, dude.
Okay, we're gonna get it to the West. Just give me 1 second. I know I'm feeding for it too. Give me 1 second. So you said the regular season matters, Eric. Top 5 teams in offense last year: Boston, Indiana, OKC, the Clippers, and Denver. Top 5 teams in defense: Minnesota, Boston, Orlando, OKC, and the Heat. Boston made the conference finals. Well, they won it all, obviously. OKC was in the second round. Minnesota made the conference finals. Like, the regular season matters. Do we think the regular season product is ass? Absolutely. Does it matter? Yes, it does. The regular season is usually, like you said, a reflection of who wins it all. I mean, obviously the Heat ran out of gas 2 years ago, but that's beyond the thing. Okay, so the East we already talked about. The West, all right? You got Golden State. What version of Steph Curry are we gonna get? Is he gonna be exhausted?
I think it's gonna be a very good player. I don't think he's going to be able to carry them as well as he used to, which he shouldn't have to.
Dude, he's 37.
Yeah, he shouldn't have to. I think he's still going to be a top 10 player, maybe even arguing that top 5. I think he's still a phenomenal player, but the team just isn't good enough really to make much noise this year. I know Steph he can sometimes will that team to victories that they shouldn't have, but I
don't see it either.
I don't know. I see them as like
the same
like
range
a
as this
seven
year.
seed, roughly.
The play-in. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So Denver, we talked about. Minnesota, like we already said it, right? They made the Western Conference Finals. They have to get back to it. That's the bar they set.
They got it. I feel like tell me if you disagree.
Mm-hmm.
top 3 for me in the West of teams that, if you don't make the Western Conference Finals, it's a disappointment for each of you. Is Nuggets. You're the best player in the world. You got to make it. Timberwolves and Thunder.
I agree with all.
And then maybe. Suns and Mavericks.
No. The Mavericks. They made the finals last year.
Yeah.
They got to get back.
They do.
I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to sound condescending, but those are the standards that they set last year. OKC got the 1 seed.
And
Minnesota made the conference finals. The Mavericks made the finals.
And
Denver
I
has the
think
best player in the world.
Sacramento is going to be pretty good this year, honestly.
Ooh.
I think Sacramento could not finals good, nothing like that.
Right. Yeah.
But I think they could be a team that kind of like they overperform in the regular season a bit, which then causes some weird matchups in the playoffs where like, oh well, these are the top 4 teams, but instead Sacramento got up there forcing these 2 teams to play in the second round.
Yep.
That type of scenario. And I don't know if right now, if you were to comfortable picking one team in the West, who would it be?
I'm not comfortable picking any team.
I'm not comfortable picking any of them.
They're not.
Everyone is saying how the Thunder are the favorites and they're this
No.
good and this good. Bro, I'm sorry. I'm call me a casual, call me whatever you want. When you look at the Thunder depth chart, I don't really trust the team all that much making the finals and winning it all when like Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins are 2 of your top players off the bench.
Yeah.
Like
Jalen
solid players, but
Jalen Williams solid. Shea superstar, top 6 in the NBA.
And Chet, I like Chet a lot.
Chet, phenomenal.
Dort is very up and down for me. Caruso, great role player. But the depth on that team is just not great to me.
But does depth win in the playoffs? No.
I think you need 3 solid guys off the bench.
Yep.
And I don't even know if they have that to me.
No, bro.
Again, I might
I
be
agree.
underrating a lot of these guys. And I'm just going to say it. I'm not as high on Jalen Williams as some other people.
Okay.
I think he's a great player. I think he's just there's a very low ceiling for him as a player. Like, you know what you're going to get. It's very consistent, but he's not going to consistently go out and win you games you shouldn't, which you shouldn't need that from him.
Right.
But I feel like some people expect that
They
from
don't
him.
have a
'Cause, like,
second star, bro.
to me, he is not a second best player on a championship team. I just don't see that.
No. Okay, so we talked about OKC, we talked about Minnesota, we talked about Denver, we talked about Dallas. Those were the top 4 seeds. The Clippers, there's really not expectations for them.
Dude.
I mean,
Kawhi got to retire. I'm just gonna say it.
damn.
Like, why is he doing that? Like, I love Kawhi. You know that.
Yeah, your favorite
Why?
player.
Why is he doing this, man? Like, it's over.
Yeah, we're not gonna rant about it, but we know how
It's
much we
so
love for him.
upsetting,
It's
though.
just, I don't think upsetting is the word. I think it's more so sad, disappointing, maybe.
Yeah, like,
his own body.
I know it sucks because, bro, me and you could not talk enough about how much we loved watching 2019 Kawhi, 2018 Kawhi, 2021 Kawhi, all this stuff. And
You're gonna make me emotional.
It sucks, man.
The Suns, they have expectations. They fired their coach. They got Budenholzer. They have KD, Booker, Beal, year 2. Bro, that team is garbage. Anyways, next, who's next on the list? You got the Lakers, I think. The Lakers. Who's the 7th seed?
Dude, they're right back to. I don't know if I really
No,
trust
did
them.
the Lakers make the? Yeah, the Lakers lost to Denver. Yes, yeah. Okay, next on the
yeah.
list, the Lakers.
I don't really trust them to do anything in the regular season, and then when it comes to the playoffs, that is going to show its face, and they're just not going to do anything in the playoffs.
Bro, the Lakers have been the same team the last 4 years. It's just, let me see what LeBron and AD do. Like, I don't care about the rest of the team.
they're
And you know how
over
much I
under-
don't like Anthony Davis.
Their over/under on wins is like 43. That is embarrassing.
Yeah. Like
You
I
have
said,
LeBron and AD, and your over/under is 43. And also,
43 is like a 6-7 seed, not a
I don't-
top 3 seed.
I don't have the most faith in JJ Redick. He still, as much as I'm going to say it, feels like a social media hire than an actual, well, let's go win a championship hire.
I know I talked a lot of shit about Anthony Davis last year, but he is a phenomenal player, and hopefully he can stay healthy all year because last year he was healthy, and guess what? He was phenomenal. Who was the 8th seed? The Pelicans. Not really much to say there. No disrespect to them.
No.
Hopefully Zion is healthy.
Decent team, but nothing
Sacramento was 9. Golden State was 10. And now we get to the nitty gritty. The Houston Rockets went over 500 for the first time since 2020. Correct me.
Well, I
if I'm
think
wrong.
we went 500. We went 41-41.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Eric, if they don't make the play-in, is it a failure? Yes or no?
100%. Oh, but today, big news, they extended Jalen Green and Şengün.
have not seen that. Wow, I need to look at that.
Yeah, Jalen Green signed it was kind of high, but it was like a three-year, 106 million, so like 35-year.
That's not bad.
Şengün, but the problem for me with the Jalen Green one is it's the third year is a player option. So if you do it and he breaks out in the first 2 years, you're just going to have to extend him right away anyway. And if he is a bad player, he can take the player option, and then you're stuck with a 35 million.
Yeah, but it's just 1 year.
It's 1 year.
He's stupid young.
The Şengün one, he signed for 5 years, 185. So it's 37 million a year, which is 8 million less per year than he was eligible. I think that's a phenomenal deal.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, huge.
Okay.
We have to make at least the play-in. If we don't make the play-in, it is a very disappointing season for me.
Okay.
I think we should be like a 44, 45 win team.
Flirting with that. There's no easy games in the West again.
No.
Like, that's just sound like the old heads, right? Like, oh, the West has always been bad. But, bro, like, last year, I thought the Nuggets were going to come out of the West, like, clearly. 2020, that was 2024? Yeah, 2024. 23, I thought the Nuggets would come out of the West. 22, I would not say I picked the Warriors to come out of the West. I'm not going to lie. I don't think anyone did. 21, nobody had the Suns because they all played injured teams. So, yeah, this is the first year that I cannot pick a team. Okay, now to keep on blabbering, the Memphis Grizzlies, do they have expectations? I mean, they're getting Ja Morant back. They're getting the whole team back.
Yeah, I think
A lot of people are high on them. It's weird.
I don't think they should be expecting a Western Conference Finals or anything, but they should be aiming for sure for a top 6 seed, I think, and avoiding the play-in.
Okay.
I think that should be the goal.
Nothing to say about Utah. Nothing to say about Portland. Nothing to say about the Spurs. I mean, we did
Oh,
cover the
Portland,
Spurs.
I do want to say, are
Oh.
you selling your stock on Scoot? I'm not. I think they're still a good
Bro,
player in there.
we talk about, not to bring up the NFL, right? But we talk about patience in the NFL with quarterbacks. There has to be patience with some of these players, man.
I agree. It's people are giving up on. People are like, he's just bad. There's nothing there.
Why do you want Wemby to be? Why do you want every player to be Wemby or LeBron or
Right.
Kevin Durant or Steph Curry or Giannis in year one? It took Giannis what, like 4 years to develop? I think it was like 2017 when he was an All-Star for the first time, and then he won MVP in 19 and 20. Obviously, Scoot isn't Giannis, but that's not the point. The point is patience. Patience. Not every QB is going to be Josh Allen and break out year 3, year 4. We're not saying that. But, dude, enough with the... Now, Justin Fields, he had more than enough time to show who he was. Caleb Williams has been a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
Guys, we didn't talk about the NFL because we're not at the halfway point yet, but we will talk about the NFL halfway point. We're going to talk about some MVP candidates. Eric, off the top of your head, who's your MVP candidate? Because I don't know. Like, Mahomes isn't playing like...
For NFL, Saquon would be up there, I think.
Ooh.
He's been going off. Lamar's up there.
Sam Darnold?
He's been popping off. Brian
Jared Goff?
For them. He's been kind of going crazy. I don't like.
Yeah,
It feels
it's so hard.
That's what I kind of like about the NFL this season, though, is even the top teams like the Vikings, the Lions, even the Chiefs. Mahomes hasn't been that great.
They are
It feels like
exploitable.
it is really team efforts all there. Like, there's
Yeah.
not been one player really that's been like, oh, doing everything. Like Lamar Jackson maybe for the Ravens, but like
But that's Lamar Jackson.
I don't know. We do next episode whenever we talk about NFL thing. We do need to talk a little bit about college football because in 2 weeks,
2 weeks.
I think 2 weeks, the first college football playoff rankings
Election
drop.
day. Yeah, November 5th. Election
Yeah,
day.
the same time college football playoff rankings dropped, and that's what they even said on ESPN. They were like, November 5th, the biggest day of the year. Nowhere else you'd rather be. ESPN college football playoff rankings. Like, that's of course they're on the same day.
Yeah.
I don't
NBA MVP. I know who you're gonna
NBA.
say. I know who you're gonna say.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Who? Because I don't even know.
All right.
for sure.
All right. When you think about someone, we'll say it at the same time.
All right, hold on. Let me think.
I know who you're gonna say.
Dude, okay. Ready, set,
3, go.
2,
Shay.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not high enough on the rest of the team, so I feel like it kind of bounces out that I think they'll do good. I was gonna say Anthony Edwards, but I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Tatum. This is the year.
At some point, he's got to get it right.
I don't want to talk about I love the Europeans. I don't want to be boring and pick Luka because if it was up to me, I would pick Luka.
I'm not. I made sure I wasn't picking Luka, which he very well could.
Yeah,
but
this
I
is
feel
not
like
slander.
every single year we say it's gonna be him, and it's never him. So I'm done saying it. If he wins it,
finally,
congrats.
yes,
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah.
But
So,
hey,
Tatum-
how sick would it be if Giannis won though?
Bro, but we talked about it last year. Giannis had an amazing year last year, and he didn't even finish top 3.
Yeah, I know. People, I feel like, I don't know. I would love if Giannis and Dame just popped off.
Yeah, man.
And
Bro, my
Giannis-
2 favorite players play for rival teams. Like, dude, I don't
Man.
want the Sixers to do good. I don't want Paul George to do good either. Like, I don't like them. The Bucks are at least likable, more likable than the Sixers are. But Eric, 7 games, Mookie Betts, World Series MVP. Your final thoughts before we go?
I don't know. I'm excited for NBA to start. Tomorrow's opening day, right?
Yeah, we got Wolves, Lakers, and Celtics.
I don't remember who it is. I'm gonna be so for real. I'll go look real quick. We're already here. We might as well go look.
It's not the Knicks. I know it's not the Knicks.
See, I thought it was the Knicks. Is it not?
I know it's Wolves, Lakers. I don't know the other. It's not the Heat.
Okay, my thing getting loading. This is. Oh, there we go. Okay, it is Knicks Celtics. Yep.
I knew it.
Yeah, they play first,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
Timberwolves Lakers after. I will say, side topic. I'm excited for Ilya Taporia and Max Holloway coming up soon. UFC. That should be an insane fight. And then the prelim to that is Robert Whitaker, or the co-main, is Robert Whitaker and Khamzat Chimaev. If you get a chance, you should watch those. Those should be some crazy fights. I'm excited.
I'll be tuned in. Halloween this weekend, guys. Stay safe. Please don't do anything stupid. And if you drink, make sure you call an Uber or make sure you're with someone that can drive you home. Please don't do any stupid decisions this weekend. But like, share, comment, subscribe. Eric, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you on the next one.